This is Calamero. This is a 4.5-year-old Gypsy Vanner horse that in June I went over and did an evaluation on. I had a client that was interested in buying him. So we went through what I would call my cold starting, just putting the first ride on him. And we're going to just kind of run you through all those steps that I did with this horse. And it took about 45 minutes to an hour as we worked with them. So let's get started. So cold starting is basically getting your horse desensitized, and a good place to start with that is like with the lead rope. And just go start swinging the rope around, get kind of see where the horse is at. Can the horse handle that? And if not, you're going to keep the motion of the rope going until the horse softens. And every time the horse softens, you soften. Once they do that, then you can repeat it. And you just keep repeating that over and over until it becomes no big deal for the horse. And then you get to where you can start throwing the rope up on the horse's back until that becomes no big deal. Once that's good, then you get to where you can start rubbing your body on their body and do one side, then the other side. You're always wanting to do everything on both sides. Then get to where you can start hopping up and down on one side, then the other side. You first start off with just little hops and you gradually get bigger and bigger. So everything's a progression from the softest, lightest, politest up to more and more. And so once you get to where you can rub them on the sides, hopping up and down, then you'll get to where you can actually get all the way up, sit on your horse. Well, actually, first, before you sit on the horses, get to where you can lay on the horse, so you're covering a big part of their body. Where that's no big deal, then you get to where you can sit on the horse. Once you've got that, like with this horse here, got to where I could sit on him. Then I started asking him actually for something, for him to move off of pressure, because up to now all I've been asking him to do is just relax, get to where you can handle these things. And now I'm asking the horse to actually move by bending his head right and left, and then get to where I can move his hind end with some steady pressure right and left. And then once I've got that, I can then ask my horse to move off forward. But this horse was a really easy horse to work with. And so not all horses can you just progress that quickly. Take as much time as you need to work on this. And then once that's essentially accepting the human, then we're going to do accepting the saddle. Accepting the saddles, get to where you can have your horse come up, smell the saddle and pad, and then again it's a lot of just desensitizing, getting the horse to be able to handle the pad. Coming, first you've got them to smell it, then start rubbing them on the wither with it, and get to where you can rub them all over his body, one side then the other side, or it turns into no big deal. And once you've got that, then you can go ahead and pick up your saddle, and I like to saddle from the off side and get to where you can have your horse smell the saddle, and then go ahead with some rhythm, throw the saddle up on your horse's back. And just be real careful, and you're going to cinch the horse up. Then ask your horse to you just step back away from them and make sure you've got a long line on them, and then ask your horse to move off, because this is where they tend to, might want to buck around a little. And you're just going to allow them to get used to the saddle. So all this is just getting them desensitized with these new feelings on them. And so you allow them to move around, walk and get them to trot, and maybe even a canter, but don't push the canter. It's not a big deal if you don't get that right now. And then once they're pretty good with that, then as you can see, I put a rope around the saddle horn and then start desensitizing the horse to the rope, flopping the rope around, getting to where you can throw the rope up and around the horse's hind end. Do it from one side, then the other. Then you're going to actually get them to be able to walk off while you're just twirling the rope around from one side, then the other side. And then you can even do that by hooking it onto the stirrups and get to where you can flop the stirrups around. And you just keep doing that until they are comfortable with that on both sides. Before you get on your horse, you want to make sure that you can bend your horse left and right, standing on the ground beside them, and then that you can throw the lead rope over their head from one side to the other. Once you've got that accomplished, then grab the saddle horn and rock the horse back and forth. Make sure that their feet are planted in the ground. And then you can go ahead and step up like you're going to get on, but don't get on, and then come back down. Do this a couple times on each side, and that'll give your horse more confidence, if they get a little worried about somebody being up above them. Once they feel pretty good about that, go ahead and step up, reach over, rub your hand on the other side of the horse's mane, and then go ahead and swing your leg over. Once you're up there, you're going to go right into bending your horse's head left, and then throw the rope over, then to the right, and get to where you can bend the horse's head back and forth very easily, and make sure you're keeping your body relaxed and soft and supple. And once you can bend both directions, then go ahead and ask them to disengage their hip, move their hind end to the right, to the left. And that's a good place to leave them, especially with this horse. He did so well on everything I asked, so I just left him right there with that.